Hey everyone, we're just about getting started here. I'm just going to take a second to introduce Jack, who is our CTO at C21 Canada, as well as the CTO and president of the T360 Consulting Group. We're going to have an opportunity to do questions at the end of the webinar, so make sure you either write them down in the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, or you can put them in the chat, whichever you prefer, and we will get to them in order at the end of our session. So Jack, I'll let you take it away unless there's anything else you'd like me to say.
Yeah, all good. Thank you for the introduction, Mason. I really appreciate it. I see we've got people coming onto the webinar right now. I also want to just let everyone know we are recording this. So Mason, I want to make sure you got the recorder on your side.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Perfect. So this is recorded. We'll be posting it next week, probably Monday, I guess is what it normally takes us to process these and get them posted. And there will be a French translation that will be posted probably later in the week, usually Thursday or Friday. That appears to be our current turnaround right now. So right. If you are for some reason not able to attend the whole session, we will offer that recording. And also, please feel free to share this with your agents, office managers, anybody else that you think needs to get the message. So again, my name is Jack Miller. I'm the CTO of C21 Canada and also President and CTO of the T360 Consulting Group. We do work, besides working with C21 Canada, we work with a number of very large brokerages, the National Association of Realtors, CREA as a client. We just recently did the strategic planning session for TREB. My partner, Stefan, led that session. So we're pretty heavily involved with leadership and management of a number of large companies. C21 is, for our company, a great client, and for me as the CTO, a terrific opportunity to take a great company and help it get to the next level with world-class technology, which is what we're here to talk about today. So I do see some familiar faces on the call list. So many of you I've spoken to before. Many of you we've had numerous conversations and emails and ongoing conversation about the C21 platform. We've had so there's some history. We've been working with the C21 for a little over 2 years at this point. Our company was brought in, T360 was brought in to work with C21 Canada to do an audit of the technology a little over 2 years ago. And then about 6 months after the audit, we were asked to come on board as the formally to strategically advise and work with the technology of the company, which we have been doing. And it's been an interesting ride. C21 Canada was very thought leading and invested in technology early, and a technology platform for the entire company, which for the time it was done was remarkable, and I think really did lead the way nationally in Canada with that approach. As time has gone by, things have changed. We are in a different market today. There's different technology competitors available today. There's things that were just simply not on the market 10 years ago, which is when the decision to adopt the Where to Live platform was made. So we have a lot of options. We've also learned a lot as a company, both about the vendor community, our needs as a company, and where we're going. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you here today is the platform and the future of where we're going to go. So I'm going to hop right into the agenda. Like Mason said, if you have questions, go ahead and you can put them in the Q&A box. There's a Q&A section that you can use, and I'm not going to look at them too much while I'm going through the presentation because I want to stay focused on getting the material, and then we'll have probably 15 or 20 minutes at the end where I'm happy to handle open questions about the platform, its implications. Many of you emailed in questions already. I've captured some of those in some slides at the end, and then there were a few that came in last night that I just have time to get in there. We will cover your questions that were sent in via email, either in the content of the presentation, many of the questions we're going to answer in the presentation, and then some of them are just standalones, and I'm happy to answer those as standalone questions as they come in over email. So we want everybody to be knowledgeable, informed about where we're going, why we're going there, what you're going to get, what you can do now, all of those things. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to spend just briefly, I'm going to talk a little bit about why we're changing vendors, although I think people who've been with the company for a while are aware of some of the many reasons that we are making this change, but I'm happy to revisit a few of those and talk about those. Not going to spend a lot of time on it because I think it's a little bit of water under the bridge. I will talk briefly about how we selected the new company that we're going to be working with, which is Real Estate Webmasters. The process we went through, just so you know that we did this one right. We spent a lot of time looking at all available options in the market, to the extent where I myself personally, representing Century 21, did on-site visits, had hours and hours of meetings with all of who we consider to be the leading vendors in the space right now. And after that exercise, came up with that. But I'll talk to you a little bit about the process and how we selected them and some of the most important criteria in our selection of Real Estate Webmasters and why we think they're a good fit. Then I'm going to introduce the company. Some of you may be familiar with Real Estate Webmasters. This is not some new startup company that just came out of nowhere. They've been in operation for 14 years. They're based in Canada, and I'll talk a little bit about their Canadian operations. And so I'll give you a little bit of information about where the company comes from, some of their strengths, their philosophy, their founder, and just so you know who we're doing business with, and I think that will help you understand also why we picked them and what we can expect from them as a company working with us going forward. Then we're going to go into what the new Century 21 platform is, what we're building. We're not simply rebuilding what we have. Of course, we have to have a lot of the elements of what we already have moving forward. So we're going to keep a lot of the good things that we already built that are of great value to the Century 21 system and create a competitive advantage for us. And we're going to build some new things. We've learned a lot by working with this system over many years, and then we have collected, thousands of requests and have spent many hours with Chairman Circle members, with agents, on phone support, the franchise support team. So we've spent a lot of time listening to the market for what the Century 21 Canada agent and broker owner wants from this system. And so we're going to be building some new things and bringing some new capabilities in, which I'm going to talk about when we go over what the components of the Century 21 platform consist of. We're also going to talk a little bit about some of the capabilities that Real Estate Webmasters is bringing into the new platform, because there's some things that they have some significant horsepower for areas that we want and that we know that, based on the requests and all the conversations we had in the field that people want. And I'm going to talk about some of those capabilities that Real Estate Webmasters has that will be available directly to owners, to agents, to teams that want some individual attention or some more horsepower specifically for their team. And so they bring a lot to the table there. And that's something we've not had before and has not been available. So I'll talk about what they can do for you individually or for your company or your team and how they can help you in ways that we just really haven't had with our current vendor relationship. And it's not really the fault of anybody. It's just we didn't know that these are capabilities that we needed, and now we have them with this new partnership, and I'll talk about them. I'm going to tell you a little bit about. I'll go over the rollout time frame and our plan for rollout, what we're doing, and what that looks like. We don't have every single detail of everything that's going to happen over the entire project, but we have a high-level schedule, a high-level understanding of the time frame of the project that all comes out of the project requirements that were written going into this project. So we'll share that with you. And the rollout schedule and our delivery date and when we expect to have this new system available. So we'll go through that. And we'll also talk about, there are some things you can do today that there are some things that are available to you today. Not that you have to do them or should do them, but there are some capabilities and some things that we can do today under the agreement that we've signed with Real Estate Webmasters that will for those of you that need help now and want to do stuff now, that is available. And again, not saying you have to do it, not saying you should do it, but if you are in a situation where you felt like you needed some more horsepower, you wanted some more lead generation capability, you needed to do some things a little bit differently for your market or for your team or for yourself, we have capabilities today that we've negotiated with them, and I'll talk about those. And those are things that again, they're available now if you want them. We've got, for people that need to do something, we've got some choices that you can make and some options that we think are very compelling and will meet a lot of the needs that we have listened from the field organization. And then we'll roll right into frequently asked questions about the new platform, the rollout, just the entire thing. And I've got 6 or 7 slides of questions we've collected that have come in over email. And again, I've got a few scribbled on a note card that were sent in over email even as early as this morning. So we'll handle those. We'll go through some of those and make sure you get your questions answered. Again, if you do have questions that you want answered at the end of the webinar, just please drop them in the Q&A box and we will go through them. And our last one, we held a webinar just like this a week ago for owners and managers. We got every single question answered, which I feel very good about, and hopefully we will do exactly the same for you. So that's it. So that's what we're covering today. And so let's hop right in. So why we're changing. So fundamentally, the real estate technology market has changed a lot in the last 10 years. And I think that when Where to Live came onto the scene, they were one of many companies that were providing web solutions for real estate. And what's happened is there have been some winners and losers. There have been some companies that have been able to sustain, grow, and build their companies to the next level. And unfortunately, Where to Live was not able to do that. They weren't able to get there under their own momentum. And because of that, we just haven't seen the reinvestment into the product that is necessary to keep it at pace with the market. And Century 21 is a company that we run at the pace of the market. And we were the market leader in technology, no question, when this decision was made, probably for a period of about 5 or 6 years. But just Where to Live's not able to keep up. We can't get things that we need built, and we can't get the existing platform. It's not being managed the way we want it to be managed. So, when the Lone Wolf acquisition happened, Lone Wolf acquired Where to Live, we had some goals and targets and said, we need to get to this point. We're glad it's been acquired because it needs some extra horsepower. The acquisition happened. Lone Wolf, I believe in all good faith, said, we're going to come in and work with this. And we just were not able to see progress against the targets that we'd set that were fast enough for us to have confidence that we were going to get the system that we think we've needed. And there were a long list of things that we needed done, and we just haven't seen the progress. And we've experienced bugs and breakdowns and things like that shouldn't be happening for a high level system that we have. Now there's still, I still will stand by the assessment we made a little over 2 years ago, which is the fundamentals of the system are very good. It's a remarkable system to have a national property search in Canada and all these markets, all of these marketing tools. It's all built in. It's all works together. It's remarkable. But the fact of the matter is, other companies have caught up. Other technology companies have caught up. There's been a massive investment in technology in the last 10 years. And Century 21, going forward, we need to be with a company that we think is both aligned with the customization that we need done and the momentum that we're at and the vision of where we want to go, and has the resources and has the horsepower to get there. And unfortunately, we've made the assessment that Where to Live is somewhat going in a different direction. Like, we don't think that they're not built for the kind of customization and the support and all the things that we need as a national franchise going forward. And so that's why we started looking around. And the decision was not made lightly, because these moves they're big moves. I mean, this is a big change for the company. It's a big change for the agents and the offices and the owners that are in it. And we recognize that. And so the decision was not made lightly. And then when it was made, we moved into a very thorough process to look at who are the market leaders right now, who are the companies that we think have the momentum, the technology, the expertise, and appear to be on the right trajectory for Century 21 to be in business with going forward. So last fall, we issued a request for proposal to about a dozen companies that we identified as companies that had they had done large-scale projects before in real estate. They were providing websites and tools and systems to real estate companies already. So we identified them, many of these through our consulting in T360, which is the other role that I hold. We've done business with many times with other clients that are using them in other markets. And so we're very aware of who the players are in the industry right now. So we assembled a very thorough request for proposal, sent it out to about a dozen companies. We got 6 proposals back that were, many of them were quite good. And so we went through, we analyzed the proposals. We got on the phone, we interviewed clients of those companies, we talked to those companies, we talked to companies that we knew used those vendors that were not necessarily given to us as a reference. We didn't just want to talk to the happy customers, we wanted to talk to some other customers. So we spent a fair amount of time in the fall and early winter of last year, doing our due diligence to find out what's the real deal with the companies that send us proposals. Are they satisfying their customers now? What's their retention rates? Are they able to fulfill on their promises? Do they provide the support that we think we need? Do they have the technology and the technology platform going forward? So we did all of that effort, and we even had several of the companies come and speak to us, both at a marketing fund meeting and at a chairman's circle, about their capabilities and what they could do for us. And so after all of that, it became readily apparent that Real Estate Webmasters was head and shoulders above the rest in terms of a good fit for us. Many of the other companies, they're quite good companies, and they do good work. But just for several reasons, we thought that Real Estate Webmasters was the right fit. Firstly, proven company. They have done, Real Estate Webmasters has done excellent work with a number of large brokerages recently and over the last 5 to 7 years, and have very impressive work in the space that you can go and look at the websites they've built, look at the technology they provide. You can call the CEOs of those companies and they will tell you that Real Estate Webmasters has driven their business up significantly in terms of traffic, leads, and the capacity to manage that. So we were able to find customers that we thought were really impressive with what they had done with Real Estate Webmasters, and that they had been doing that for a long period of time. And so Real Estate Webmasters, even by other companies that were in the RFP, is acknowledged as one of the industry leaders in SEO and web technology in the space. And even some of the other companies that put in proposals have outsourced work to Real Estate Webmasters because they either didn't have the capacity or thought Real Estate Webmasters was a better fit. So we think from that perspective, the company has the technology, it's got the expertise, they're terrifically good at SEO and web, they really get it, and they will build custom, and that's a big requirement for us. Century 21 is, we have to have a system that's just for us, that not everybody else is gonna have. So we needed a company that wasn't just gonna sell us a product that they would then sell to somebody else. We needed to be able to take a core product that they had that's really good, and then enhance it and make it even better and use it better than anybody else that might actually be using them also. So that was a big requirement for ours. And there's very few companies that can handle the kind of requirements that we have in terms of customization. We think Real Estate Webmasters is one of them. They're also Canadian. They're based in Nanaimo, and they have offices now in Vancouver, just down the street for us. So that is very convenient. That means we can walk down to their offices, we can talk to them, and that was a big factor. And they were willing to also work with us on pricing for all of our members for anything that our members needed. So many of these companies really didn't have great programs where we said, okay, well, it's great to cover the national company, but what do our franchisees get? What do our agents get if they want more? And that was something that Real Estate Webmasters was able to offer to us on a very compelling basis in terms of pricing and capability. So there really are no limits in our assessment with Real Estate Webmasters. We can go anywhere we want to go with them. They have a proven track record. They've done great work for other companies and have a very strong reputation with their customers in the industry. They can handle our customization and our requirements. So those are just a few of the reasons why we picked them. And there's a whole, I could spend a lot of time go through all of our selection criteria and everything, but those are at a high level some of the reasons why we ended up choosing them. And I'm sure there'll be questions about them. I'm happy to talk about them. Our company, T360, the consulting side of the company, we've done work with many companies that use the Real Estate Webmasters platform. We even did a case study on Real Estate Webmasters for Daniel Gale Sotheby's, which is a company out in Long Island in the US, about 900 agents, and we studied what they did with that company and how much they were able to impact that. And that's a case study I'd be delighted to share with anybody so you can read. And we interviewed their CEO and their CTO and wrote it up. And did all of that to really do a third-party examination of how well they work with a larger broker. So that's how we selected them. We believe we're in the best hands possible for Century 21 Canada. I don't think we could have done the process more thoroughly or better. More would not have changed the result. I think we got the right result. So a little bit about the company. They are a premium technology provider, website, CRM software, and to the real estate industry. And they're well known for their marketing. They're very well respected marketers in the space and have built just tons and tons of websites for agents and for teams and brokerages. So they're one of the top providers in the industry. They specialize in custom development, which we need. We can't just buy a cookie cutter off the shelf product and turn it on because that's not going to work for us. We need something that is truly ours and that is a Century 21 platform. And so they specialize in that. That's a capability they have. They have literally hundreds of developers that are at our beck and call for what we need from them, and their model is built around that. So instead of waiting for some product roadmap where the vendor says, oh, it's on the roadmap, we'll build it, yeah, that's coming, like we can just tell them, no, we want that, and Real Estate Webmaster says, great, we have developers, write us a check, and we go. And that's the kind of help we need, is to move fast, to move at the pace of the market. They have over 60,000 real estate professionals are on their platform, either through a brokerage site, a brokerage system that they use, through individual agent sites that they've signed up for team sites, company sites, things like that. So they've got a good footprint in terms of user base from a website CRM perspective. So very strong there. They've been around for a while, so this is not a new kid on the block. Since 2004, they've grown every year they've been in business. They've been profitable the entire time they've been in business. And they've been recognized by outside, non-industry recognition of their growth and their consistency in growing and developing their business. So we like that. We believe we need to be in business with companies that are just like C21 Canada, in the sense that we're focused on growth, we're focused on more production, on becoming a stronger company. And Real Estate Webmasters has a long track record that is where they are going. Like I said earlier, they're headquartered in Nanaimo, so they're a short float plane away, their headquarters, from our Vancouver location, and they've opened offices in Vancouver principally to service us and other enterprise customers. And I've watched them; they move fast. We visited them in September, October of last year, and they had just got the office space, and they had 2 or 3 people in it. I was there not but 6 or 8 weeks ago, and they had 40 people there, a whole enterprise team. I met all their staff that they move over there, so they are well equipped. Just in terms of staffing, to give you a sense, they're a little under 200 people total work for the company, which is many times larger than the entire staffing of Where to Live. So their company is 4 or 5 times as many people on staff as our current technology provider. And that's a good sign. That means we've got resources. I'm not talking to one person and that one person is talking to 2 other people. I'm talking to one person who has a team work for them. I'm talking to another person who has a whole team work for them. I'm talking to another person who has a whole team work for them. So we're able to put a lot of people onto this when we need it, which means we can get what we need, we can build what we want. And that's really what Century 21 needs, and what we assess is the best. And then the founder, Morgan Carey, he's a young entrepreneur. He's in his mid-30s. He's been nominated for Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year for several years running, including this year. He's an impressive young man. I mean, he's, I'm a little older than he is, and he has built a very significant company and owns 100% of it. He doesn't report to a board or an investor or anything like that. He is in charge, and has led this company consistently over the last almost decade and a half to consistent growth and strong reputation in the industry. He's a little bit of a maverick. He does things differently, and we like that about him. We think we need some of that. That's going to help us stand out and be different in the market. And he's well respected for his marketing savvy and SEO. He actually started his entry into the web world was as an SEO person. He owns SEOguy.com, very well established in SEO. So we're working with not only one of the top companies, but we think one of the top leaders in terms of search and web in the industry today, and that's terrific, because we want to leverage that kind of leadership in building our system to the next level. So that's a little bit about them. So I'm going to talk to you now about the new platform and what it looks like, what it does, so that you have a sense of what we're going to get. And then I'm also going to talk about Real Estate Webmasters and some of the things that they're bringing to the table, so you understand what's available to you. So the new platform, we'll just run through it so you get all the pieces. The national website system, so national property search, agent search, company office search, all the things that we have today. Of course, we're going to make them better. If we're going to spend the time we're going to spend rebuilding this into the best platform for Century 21, we're going to take everything we've learned and we're going to make it better. I'm going to talk to you about some of the improvements as well. Agent, team, company, and office websites that'll be hosted as part of Century 21 Canada, similar to we have today. We call them sub-sites, where they're going to be hosted with the master site with century21.ca. We are building a new Sphere CRM platform. Frankly, I'm not impressed with the platform we have today, the CRM. It hasn't really kept up with what I think are not just market standards, but also just kind of thought leaders in the industry about CRM. And we've studied ton of the industry CRMs right now. CRM is one of the hardest nuts to crack in this industry because people do business so many different ways. And so we're going to build a new CRM that's really focused on the repeat, referral, network, and relationship building that all agents need to do. We're going to simplify the interface, make it easy to use, make it less steps to do things, and make it really easy to stay in touch with your current sphere, your network, your past clients, and to get that repeat and referral business. Because that is, as we know, that's 70 to 80% of the business in real estate is that repeat and referral piece of the business. So that's going to be a piece that's going to be significantly improved, and I'll talk about that. We are, of course, going to keep the marketing center. We're going to cull it. We're going to go through and revise the print and the email and come up with new materials that we're going to put into the platform. We're going to take the best of the hits and what's worked, and we're going to bring to you a new marketing center that will be revitalized for this new platform. You'll have, of course, all the Century 21 specific things for your profile, awards, recognition, courses, certifications, anything you do with Century 21. That is part of what we do differently is we really keep track of that information and want to recognize our members and have them use that in marketing. So that's going to continue to be in the platform. Our gold score and production tracking, so your ability to see your progress and how you're doing, as well as rating on how you could do better. That's a core part of our platform. We think that's an important part of what makes the Century 21 system very powerful, is that it isn't just a tool you use, it's a way to measure and monitor your business. And we're going to take that to the next level as well. Lead distribution and management. We really don't have, in our current platform, we really don't have good lead management. It's not, I mean, my opinion, I look at a ton of products in this industry, and it's really absent in the current platform. We don't have a good lead manager. So we're going to get a much significantly better lead management platform in place that'll allow for better and easier lead distribution. We'll have some controls to allow us to control the leads better, route them properly for at the office level, at the team level, make sure people are getting the right leads routed to them and the way that they should be routed. And also some better tools like a dashboard, a way to see the leads coming in, and a way to see how they're ranked and rated, so you know who to call. So you're going to get much better capability there. That will be linked up with the IDX. So the search capabilities, you'll be able to see what people are searching for, when the last time they came to search, what their favorite properties are, and have a much more compelling experience as a user of that platform to identify your hot prospects and who you should be talking to today. So we're going to take the lead distribution and management to the next level. And in some cases, we don't have it. We don't really have a strong lead management platform today. We're going to go get one because we think that's an important part of growing your business. Is you're stable with your sphere and you're marketing the people you know, and you build your business with leads. You bring those in to do more business. Lastly, we're building with a partner that really understands third-party integration, and they already have integrations with BombBomb and Real Satisfied, some of the tools we're already in business with today. And we're going to be adding more tools into that integration capability because they already have a full integration API. They're very savvy with integration. We've actually talked to other companies that have already integrated with real estate webmasters, and they love them. They think they're great to integrate with. They really get it. We're going to be adding a significant integration over to the Google platform because we already know a number of you are already using Google on Google today. You'll like Google. It's kind of been shown as a platform winner for real estate. It has one of the best mobile experiences. The applications on mobile work great. The synchronization works great. And so we're going to be integrating with the Google platform to synchronize contacts, calendar, and that kind of information between our system and the Google system. So if you're on the Google system, you'll be able to get those that significant, that tight integration that we really want, and also the convenience of the Google platform. So we'll talk more about that, but that's a significant new integration. And there are others. There's some other companies we're looking at right now, how we can integrate with them to help you do social marketing, market your listings on social media, automate some of your listing marketing process. There's a lot of great third-party tools. We don't believe we can build everything because it's just too expensive, and there's so many great options out there, but we want to provide the hub by which other third parties can plug in and get access to the data they need to have their products work seamlessly with the Century 21 system. So we're partnered with the new companies. Real Estate Webmasters has a lot of capability with this. They've already proven it with a number of the partners that we already use. And then we have others that we're talking to that, as we build out the platform, we'll be able to announce new integrations with winning vendors. And then anytime something new and great comes up, we'll go explore those about how to integrate with them too. So that's where we're going. That's what the new platform is. These are some key areas that we're going to focus on making new and improved, and I'll just run through those. So we wrote, there's 146 pages of business requirements and improvements for this platform. Very significant effort went into saying, here's what we want, and here's what we have today, and here's how we want it to be better. And these are some highlights. I'm not going to go through all 146 pages with you guys. It's pretty dry reading, but there's a few pieces that I think are really exciting and that will impact everyone's business in Century 21 Canada in one way or another. We are doing a redesign of the agent CRM platform, which that is one of our top requests. People want a better CRM, and I get it. And it's really hard. I'm just going to emphasize, like, building a great CRM is difficult in this industry. So we're shooting for a CRM that we believe will meet the needs of the majority of the agents within Century 21 for their base CRM needs around working with their sphere, past clients, and customers, and help them manage marketing to that group of people. So we're going to redesign that. We're going to make it a lot better. Make it easier, less clicks, better workflow. We are putting in place, moving into this, and I'll show you some screenshots of this, a very modern look, feel, and design of all of the websites. So we think all the websites need to go to the next level, and I'll show you some examples of websites that Real Estate Webmasters has built for other companies so you can see what I'm talking about. We're overhauling the property search. We've got a lot of requests for the property search to make it better, and so we're going to be adding better support for lease search, commercial search, farm and rural property, commercial property, find homes and estates, all those kinds of properties that really, we need better criteria in the search for them so consumers can find what they're looking for. And then when they're looking at the result page, when they're looking at the listing page, those should be fine-tuned to the kind of property they're searching for. If you're searching for a fine home and estate property, a high-end property, we're going to have that really stand out. It's going to look different from the other listings that are on the site, have maybe a different background, a little bit more, we know most of all the high-end stuff is nice photography, so we're going to put that right up front. So we're doing a lot of things to make the fine home and estate stand out. We know the search doesn't work great that we have right now for rural and farm and ranch. There's lots of criteria that people have for that search, and they're interested in different things on the listing detail page. When they get to the listing, they have different questions. They're not interested in beds and baths. They want to know about acreage. They want to know about water access. They want to know about mineral rights. They want to know about all the other things that go with that kind of property because it's different. It's something that their criteria as a purchaser is different than a person buying, a 3-2 condo. It's just different. So we're going to give that. We're going to really respect what people are searching for, both in the ways that they search, so they get more fields and better fields that make sense, and in how they're displayed, so that they are able to find the information they want, which means they're more likely to stay on the site. They're more likely to contact you, and all of these property search improvements are going to flow down to your agent site, so that whatever you do can be reflected really well on your own personal site. Like I said earlier, we're going to improve the lead distribution and management. I think I talked enough about that already, but having a lead manager, having the ability to score leads and see where they are, being able to go in and see what they've done and what activities they've undertaken and what they've searched for and things like that we think are just fundamental to getting insight into the consumers that are on your website today. We're building that. That's going to be part of the platform. Better team support. We've got a lot of you that are now running teams or partnered up with other agents on teams, and we know the current platform it kind of supports teams, but it wasn't built for that originally. And so the teams phenomenon is relatively new in the industry, especially in Canada. And so the good news is Real Estate Webmasters has already built a lot for teams in their existing platform. So they already have team support as a concept and team websites as a concept and the whole team usage of a CRM as a concept. And so we're going to be creating some better support for teams in the platform for those of you that are running teams or maybe want to run a team. So that's coming. And then also, I talked about it already a little bit, but this native integration with the Google platform, which we think is a leading platform for real estate professionals and allows you can get your own name and use it with your email address and have a best-in-class mail and calendar experience. So that's why we're going to do those native integrations. We think that that's a strong platform partner for us going forward. And we already know many of you are using it because a lot of you have gotten emails from and said, hey, why aren't we using Google as a company? What can we do to support that? So much of this is coming from those of you who have already taken that step out in the field. So that's what's new and improved. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we get from the Real Estate Webmasters platform that are significant capabilities that I want you to know about, and then we'll talk about them as far as what you can do now later in the webinar. So one of the things that we are getting is the ability to build what we call autonomous sites, which is if you want to run a site on your own domain and you want to set it up your way, you want to have it reflect, a specific market or a neighborhood, or you want to do SEO on it, or you want to do lead generation on it, and you want to control it, you want to have it be yours. That's a capability that Real Estate Webmasters brings to the table, where you can do it your way. And they have literally an entire, like, their business is two segments. They have an entire section dedicated towards autonomous agent team and broker sites, and then they have enterprise, which is where our platform is being built on the enterprise side. But they have an entire whole business unit that, by the way, is very mature and has tens of thousands of sites running on it, where you can go get your own site, you can brand it your way, you can, if you want to, you can customize it, you can use it for lead generation, you can do a lot of things with it. It's just difficult to do in the context of a national site. So that is a significant capability that they've got and that they're well known for. It's actually the core of their business is that capability. So they're bringing that to the table. They also have significant capacities for managed advertising, meaning both the Canadian Marketing Fund, Century 21 Marketing Fund, can go to them and say, hey, we want to put money in for you to fully manage advertising. Well, this is something to do for lots of their customers. They have whole teams of people that do pay-per-click marketing and manage social media and all that kind of stuff. That's a key capability they've had. They really understand how to generate leads from managed advertising spend. And that is also available to our individual owners and franchisees and agents and teams and everybody on this call. If you said, you know what, I want to make a significant play, I want to put some money into advertising, we have a partner that can do it, and they've been doing it for many, many years and are very good at it and have a known track record because we've interviewed people and talked to them about it and about how they do it. So that's a capability we have that we haven't had in the past. That many of you have come to us and said, hey, I'm working with a company that wants to do this. How do I do it? And I've had to tell you as a CTO, I said, our platform's really not set up for that. We really can't support you doing that, spending money in advertising towards the national platform. It doesn't work well for that. Well, now we have a partner that can do that, and that's great. That means that opens up, means there's no limits. If you say you want more, we can get you more, and we have a trusted partner to do it with. They bring really a whole brand new CRM that they're building for lead management. So they've been working on a lead management platform that's mobile. It's on iOS and Android. It's in beta right now, but they've spent a lot of time and effort looking at and thinking about. And I'll show you some screenshots from some of the current version of that product that enables you to more easily and quickly follow up and manage leads. So they've learned from all the different lead management platforms that they've built to support their products before, and we're getting the latest and greatest with them, and that's available now. So it includes email action plans, text messaging plans, so you can have text follow-up with people to give you a phone number, some really cutting-edge cool stuff. Really great dashboards, so you can see what's going on. You can quickly reply to all your leads without having to dig into each page. You can just go and hit reply, and you'll see it's awesome. And there are a lot of companies that we know that this is the core of their lead management, like this platform. And lastly is their capabilities around customization and SEO. So many of you have come to me, and I've gotten emails from third-party SEO people, and like, oh, we're trying to do SEO with with a site hosted in the Century 21 system, and it's just not set up for that. I mean, we kind of, as Century 21, the franchisor, we have to be responsible for the platform, and we're going to do SEO for this new platform. So we're doing there'll be, as part of building this platform out, there's going to be a massive SEO effort and a lot of changes to the platform as far as content is concerned for the national site. But when you as an individual or an agent team or office have come and said, hey, we want to put $20,000 into SEO. We want to make a big play. We want to get a lot more. We want to improve our rankings. We haven't had really a good way to do that with you, and that's been just the nature of both the vendor and also at the time in the market. There really wasn't that sort of opportunity. Well, Real Estate Webmasters can do that. If you're on an autonomous site with them, you can do whatever you want, and they are experts in this space. I mean, they have people that will write content. They have people that will do the SEO for you. You can hire your own SEO people and SEO the platform. It's designed for that. It's really well intended for that. So there really are no limits as to what you can do with them, and that's part of the benefit of working with them, is that since they have this rich practice of being able to work with agents and brokers who want to build their own sites, they bring that to the table. And so you can use all the tools in their toolbox to build what you want. And we think that's very powerful now I'm not saying everybody should do that. Most agents shouldn't do that. Most agents should focus on their network, their sphere, their repeat, and referral, which is why we're building the platform. We're building the platform to solve the problem of the 80%, the majority of people that's how they do business. But for those of you that are hungry for more leads and want to get competitive and are willing to put some money into it, Real Estate Webmasters can handle that. And that's actually not just do handle really well for many agents and brokers in the industry already. So that's some of the capabilities they bring that we're excited about, and components of their platform capability. So wanted everybody here to know about that. I'm sure there are going to be questions about that. I see the little red dots turning on in the Q&A thing right now. So I know people have questions, and I'm happy to answer and talk about that. So I've got some screenshots. I'm just going to take you through some screenshots of some example sites and the product. This is a company called The Agency. You can look them up. They're out here in California, and they've done their entire website system for them. Everything they build is responsive, front end and back end. So it looks great on mobile, looks great on tablet, looks great on desktop. So feel free to check out The Agency. This is their new rebuilt business dashboard, which we're going to be customizing and adding components to and making our own, where you can log in and you can see everything going on with the business. You can see all the activities you need to do on the CRM. You can see all the leads. You can see everything you need to respond to. All that kind of stuff is built into the business dashboard. It also works great on mobile. So they've designed their product around knowing that agents are highly mobile today. That this is a time and place in the industry where we're not sitting in front of our desks. We're out. We're working. We're in the field. So we need the capability, and we have smartphones. We have smartphones that are enabling us to do a lot more. And so they're taking advantage of that capability with making the business dashboard work for mobile really well. So these are some examples of some agent websites that I wanted to show you, just so you have a sense of some of the things they built. So they power First Team, which is a company based in California. This is an example of kind of a clean, new look, very modern for some of the agent websites. This is Daniel Gale, which is Sotheby's company, which I talked about. They're out in Long Island in New York. Again, really clean, very modern, something that you go look at it and you go, wow, this looks really good. And this is also the company we did the case study on, which I'm happy to send you guys a PDF of the case study, where we looked at, well, what was the impact of their business? Did it help them with SEO? It did. Did it help them with leads? Oh yeah, big time. So it made big difference moving to this modern, clean, well-designed platform that we think we're going to get the same kind of benefits that Daniel Gale did, maybe more. Another one, this is Berkshire Hathaway Utah Properties. This is a really cool site. I would go check out this site because this one features an embedded video background. So you go in there and you can't see it in here. I tried to embed it on here, but it just didn't play well with the Zoom meeting. There's a video running in the background when you go to the site. It's a marketing guide. It's cool. It's compelling. You go there and you're like, wow, this is awesome. Like, it's neat. So go check it out. They have agents, all the agents of their firm can choose to use a subdomain site with them, like a subsite, and they have the subsite has the same video, and it's very compelling. And I mean, it's impressive. If you send it to your clients, they would think you were hot stuff. So we like this site a lot. We think this is another good example of some of their kind of cutting edge marketing. All their websites include, these are capabilities that we're going to get by being on the platform with them, that we don't have to build this. This is just part of what we get with them. And if you sign up for an autonomous site, if you want to go get a site just for your own domain or for your team that's separate, and I'll talk about how that works in just a little bit. But if you get it on your own, these are things you already get. This is what the Real Estate Webmaster already has that's really strong for the platform. So it's responsive. There's a whole management system, so you can manage all the content. It's got lead management. It has a CRM system. The CRM system they have today is really predicated around kind of managing leads, so it's very strong around lead management. That's why we're building something for us that's like a more of a kind of what I call a repeat and referral CRM. It's based around working with past clients and doing that kind of activity. Manual listings, so you can add and edit listings and put them in the system and do all that. It's got all the searching you'd expect. It's got a blog built in. It's got all these things. One of the things I will talk about, the IDX control panel, you can go into your site and you can add and remove fields. You can make changes. If the IDX field's available and you want to customize your search a little bit or customize the results, you can do that, which is cool. You can customize, I mean, it's limited, it's not unlimited, but you can do some changes to the search to make it so where it works better for you, which we think is fantastic because we know not everybody wants the same, same bedroom, bathroom, square footage search. You may have other things you want to push up in the search or have be more prominent or more important. So it's got a lot of action plans you can do. It's got a community stats module where you can build a community page and it'll show statistics about the community, all this kind of stuff. So it's got a lot of capability built in to their current platform, all responsive, all built to work great on mobile, which is becoming so important for the web right now because most of the traffic is now starting or going from mobile. So all of these things you get right now. I'm going to take you through just a few screenshots of some of the tools. So this is the dashboard. You can see across the top. This is our current product. Now keep in mind, this is not C21. We're going to take this and we're doing this project with them. We're going to customize this much further so it's really unique to us and it'll be ours. So we're going to be adding things like the Marketing Center and the Sphere CRM and all the capabilities that we know that we want that are specific for C21. So here you can see leads, messages, inquiries, showing requests, valuation requests for sellers, all of that. So you can see everything going on, and you'll notice right here it says like write a response. You can respond right away. If you're managing a team, somebody registers, you can assign that lead to somebody on your team. You can have leads auto assigned. You can have them round robin. I'll show you that. So here, this is a lead manager. If you're managing leads for a team, you can, if you're assigning them manually, you can go and assign them out to people on your team, or you can set them to go to wherever you want them to go. Oh, everything priced above this point goes over to that agent. Everything in that neighborhood goes over to that person. So we'll have some really great lead management capabilities that will apply to those of you that are running teams or at the office level. These are messages. These are people on your site sending you messages or asking you for information. Again, you don't have to open it up and futz around and copy the email address over, do all the stuff you got to do today. You just hit write a response. And it goes directly to them. So you've got much easier ways of responding to people that are on your site. Same thing with inquiries. These are all property-specific inquiries where they went to a page and asked about a listing. So you can go to that. Showings is the same thing, where you can send them a schedule and say, here's when I can meet with you. And it just makes the whole process of scheduling showings so much easier. And finally, valuation. So if you have sellers coming to your site or potential sellers coming to your site requesting valuations, they submit all their information. You got it right here. And you can easily send them a response, attach a CMA, do whatever you need to do to get back to that seller in a way that's going to help you convert that business. So the dashboard's made, this part of the dashboard is made to be to keep you real active and working with your leads at a high level and responsive, because we know that's what closes businesses, when you're fast, when you can respond quickly. It also works on mobile, so you can get to all of this from the mobile side as well. So that's a lead view. It's just showing you, you can pop into a lead. You can see the last time they were on the site. You can see what they were searching for and what kind of searches they have set up. This is if leads come to you, you can and you're assigned a lead by your team leader, or a lead comes from the office, you can accept it or you can reject it, and it goes back into the pool so that someone else can convert it and get on top of it. So it's got much better kind of lead management capabilities. This is the mobile contact view, so you can see kind of how things are rendered on a mobile, so you can see all the information. This is how agents and teams and offices get. This is more administrative, but if you were setting up agents within your office or setting up teams, it's got screens for that. This is a content manager where you can come in and manage pages on the site. You can add in whatever you want. You can add in little blocks of modules that they have the concept of, that we also have on our current site, to add like property search or recent listings or things like that. It handles multimedia content. If you want to drop in video, multimedia, audio, anything you can drop into this site. So it's designed for that. It's very kind of similar to like a WordPress type system, where if you want to drop things in, you can post an HTML, you can do the things that you need to do within the content management system. Here's where I said you can customize the IDX search fields, so you can change the fields, you can drop them, you can get rid of them if you don't want them, you can drag them around, you can add additional available IDX fields to customize your property search. So a lot of capabilities for you to take your site to the next level and really make it specific for your neighborhood, your market, what people care about there. So pretty cool stuff. So those are some of the things that we get with the platform. Here's what we have to build, just so you know, I know some people are going, well, that sounds great, just turn it on today. But there's things we don't have that we know we need. They're important, and it's important we also spend the time to customize them so that we have a unique product for C21, and so that it does all the things that you can do today. We can't just abandon what we have. We need to build in the pieces that we've already got that are valuable and that are used by the system every day. So we need to build a marketing center. So Real Estate Webmasters has email marketing capability and email templates, but it's not as nice as what we have. And it doesn't have the print capability that we need in all of our Century 21 materials and campaigns. So we need to build that with them. That's going to be something that'll be for us and that we'll have as a component. They don't have the Sphere CRM and Contact Manager. They're really focused. Their system is very focused around leads, which is great. But we want something that's a little more bread and butter in terms of staying in touch with people in your sphere, sending them out newsletters and emails, and subscribing to the marketing campaigns that are provided to you, or the ability to build your own marketing campaigns. So we need to build that. That's something that we're going to put together. We have to do some MLS integration. Now, I will say Real Estate Webmasters had more MLS integrations in Canada than anyone else that responded. So that's great. That means that we've got a great head start. We're a little bit more than halfway through. So we need to go through and integrate all the MLSs that we're attached to as part of Century 21 Canada. And we're doing that. That's actually, we signed the contract's been signed, their data team's already on it. So they're working through all the MLSs that we do business with, that we have agents in right now. But we've got to get that done because we need a national property search that covers everywhere. We need MLS on your site so people can search on your site. And we need it for all of the print materials like the listing flyers and all the other stuff that we need to build. So their data team is hot and heavy with that right now. All of our Century 21 specific property search and web customization. So the great work we've done on how we present properties on the web, how we show featured properties, how we show Showcase 21 properties, how we show, how we work with things like the Gold Score to rate properties as to what can be done better, how we handle high resolution photography, kind of all those things that we've done that we think are terrific for your clients that have homes listed with you. We need to build those, and obviously I talked about we're going to plus a lot of that. We're going to plus farm and ranch, commercial, lease, find properties and estates. We're going to go through and make some of those property types that really aren't as well displayed on our site today, display much better and search much easier. So that we need to do that. And we think that will make our property search very competitive in the Century 21, in the Canadian landscape. So Century 21, we want to play hard in that space. We want to have a better search than is available elsewhere. So we're playing hard, and that's what we have to build. All the specific ways that we're going to distribute leads. Right now, our lead distribution it's very simple, and that's kind of good, but it also doesn't, there's some things it doesn't handle well. So people are getting leads that doesn't make sense for them to get. Offices are getting the wrong leads just because, they may be, as the crow flies, closer, but there's actually an office that serves that area better because of the way you drive there or whatever. So there's lots of places where I can point out, and we get these people say, hey, I shouldn't be getting these leads. These should go over there. That's we don't do business over there. And so we're building the lead distribution to do that, to make that better. And then all the Century 21 specific features like the Gold Score Awards production tracker, all the partner software integrations, all the things that are really attached to our platform or make the platform really Century 21 specific. So where we've got all that. So these are all the kinds of things we need to build. Obviously, there's a lot of business rules. There's a lot of things that most agents don't care about, but as a franchise, we have to be able to set up offices, keep track of teams, do all that kind of stuff. So there's some kind of nuts and bolts and glue that Real Estate Webmasters has a lot of the pieces of, but we have to go through and make sure that it's done right, it works well, and so that everything is fine tuned. So these are the kinds of things that we're going to be working on and building with the platform. So this is our high-level schedule for the build-out and what's happening. So the project's already started. We've been moving through the planning phases right now. We're coming up on the end of like the entire project planning phase, and then we're moving into implementation for web, data, and CRM. So these are going to go through several phases as we build out this product, and we'll be reporting back to the field and talking to you guys about what's happening with that. Some of you we've already gotten some people said, oh, well, I have some input. I'd like to do that. That's great. We're gonna run some feedback sessions and be able to put things like the new CRM in front of people and say, what do you think of this? Because there are some components that are very new. So there will be some opportunity for that as we build this out. Roughly, it's an 18-month project, and we're determined to deliver this in Q4 of next year, so Q4 2018, so that everyone has access at that time. We will do what is necessary to hit that, because that is, in our mind, the best time to move you guys. We don't want to roll out a new web platform in the middle of your sales season. That's a bad time. But the winter, that's a good time. If we can get you on a new platform in Q4 2018, that means you'll have the winter months to, we'll get you migrated, we'll get things set up, we'll move over your contacts and all your information, and you can get used to the new system and come in and spend some time customizing the website if you want, or adding things into it that you need. So that's our ideal. Simply too big of a project to move this year. It's just not possible. It's too big. We got too much to do, and we want to do it right. So we're giving ourselves the time frame to do it. Everybody wants it sooner, including myself. I'd love to have it yesterday, but that's just not going to happen. And so we're gonna do it right. We're gonna build you a great platform and be able to move you over to it in an orderly fashion in Q4 of next year. So that's the high level schedule. Okay, so some of you are saying, well, that's all great, Jack, but what can I do now? I want something now. Like now is what it's about. And I get that. And not everybody's in that boat, but we know that there's some, probably a higher percentage on this call, because people that show up for these calls tend to be kind of pushing. They're the ones that want stuff and are, want something better. So I hear that. So I'm going to tell you about what you can do now. And I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just telling you, I want you to know what's available. And if you have questions, you want just a straightforward assessment about what you should do, you can email in, and I'm happy to tell you, nope, not a good plan for you. Yeah, that's a good plan. We'll give you the best assessment that we can about your situation. If it's a good idea, we're going to be straight with you. And some of you, I'm going to tell you, nope, just wait for the new platform. Like, it's okay. That's an okay answer. Some of you, yeah, move to a piece of the new platform that's available now, which is the autonomous sites. So I'll talk about that. So what's available now are Real Estate Webmasters autonomous sites. And these are sites hosted on your own domain that you control. And you have a direct relationship with Real Estate Webmasters. So it's your own website. It falls under the umbrella of Century 21 because of our enterprise relationship with them and some of the work we're doing. And I'm going to talk about what that means. So what an autonomous site is, it's a site hosted on your own domain. It includes the lead management CRM, action plans, email marketing, SMS text marketing, and the marketing tools that they currently have, which are not the same as the ones we have. It's not the marketing center, but it's what they have today. So you can get their existing CRM platform on your own, that works in conjunction with your own site, its own search and IDX. You can, and this is the way, if you want to do paid lead generation, we're going to recommend you get an autonomous site. If you come to us and you say, you know what, I want to spend, $1,000 a month generating leads for myself or for my team or whatever, we're going to tell you the answer is an autonomous site, because that's the best way to control it and manage it and track it. Really hard to do that in the context of a national site. Just doesn't work well. And this is the best way to do it. Is you have your own site, you send leads to it, and you manage it, and it's autonomous. That's the best way. And by the way, that's the standard way. You talk to any of the big teams in the States, you talk to any of the companies that do a lot of lead generation in the States, like that's the standard way, is they give you an autonomous site, you send leads to it, and you can track it, you can manage it, you can give it to an SEO guy if you don't want to use Real Estate Webmasters, all of that. It's the best way. Customization is available. You can make changes beyond what is going to be capable in the Century 21 platform. Century 21 platform, you're going to be able to modify things and change, there's going to be controls, similar to what you have today, where you can add pages and content and blogs, and you can tweak it, things like that. You'll have some templates you can choose from. But on the autonomous site, you can do whatever you want. It's just money. You decide what your budget is and the things that are important to you, and you can have Real Estate Webmasters do it for you. And so it really is, it's much more customizable. That having been said, I'm going to discourage you from doing a ton of customization because I usually find people do a lot of customization, but it doesn't get them better results in terms of leads or business. So if you have questions about like, hey, should I, spend $10,000 customizing my site? I'm probably going to say no to most of you. And we will provide some recommendations. We've been having some calls with some of our members who are early on this autonomous site for themselves, and we've been providing some kind of standard approach to that. And I'm discovering we need to do that. We'll do that. So if you're going to do it, let us know, and I can tell you kind of what I think the things are that are probably worth customizing first. But I'd say less is more initially, and generating leads is the most important thing. So you're going to focus on things that do that first, because usually that's why people want an autonomous site, is for better lead generation and control over lead generation. These autonomous sites, if you build them in the context of this relationship with Century 21, will work with a coming site. So when you move to an autonomous site, you will, once we turn on the Century 21 capabilities later, you'll get the marketing center, you'll get all the Century 21 profiles that you want. You'll get the additional templates and capabilities that are built into the Century 21 system that we're building. So it will work with the future version. And that's so that gives you can have a site for yourself and a lead management CRM for yourself and all the capabilities Real Estate Webmasters has today. You can get that today. And then when we turn on that functionality in the future, you just get powered up. You just get all the extra stuff. You get all the Century 21 stuff. And it'll, so that's, but it's under the context of the Century 21 agreement that will happen. So there's a little bit of, there's some things you probably shouldn't customize, and I wouldn't recommend you customize them anyway. We just don't want you to do too much crazy customization, because then it makes it difficult to integrate it later. And we've also negotiated the best in the industry pricing with Real Estate Webmasters for your own site. So if you want your own site, you want to do lead gen yourself, all of that, we've got, they don't offer better pricing, period, the end. And it's only available for Century 21 members. And to my knowledge, it's not available anywhere else in Canada. This is the best pricing that anybody has with Real Estate Webmasters in Canada, period, to my knowledge. So here's some, people ask, well, what's the difference? Am I paying for the same thing twice? I'm paying money into the marketing fund. Aren't I going to get the same thing later? The answer is no. The autonomous site and the Century 21 system are different. So the Century 21 system you see on the left, it's a national website system. It's the marketing center, the Sphere CRM, all the Century 21 specific stuff like the profile, the integrations, all the things like that. Like that's what we're building, okay? The autonomous site, it's your site on your domain. It's not a part of century21.ca. It can be whatever domain you want. You can do whatever you want with lead generation with it. And that's one of the biggest reasons to do it, is that it gives you capacity to make decisions about your own lead generation and how you want to do it, where you want to spend money and how much you want to spend and all that. You're under your own power there. You can customize it. You're not limited by whatever we do in the national system. So that's another thing that you can do with the autonomous, that you're not going to be able to customize everything on century21.ca because it's a national platform. It's different. And not everybody should customize everything. Most of you are going to be fine with a national platform at the agent level. Some of you need customization. Great. If you do that, that's what the autonomous sites are for. And that's different. You can't get that through the national platform. And it will work with the backend, Century 21 backend, once it's available. The limitations. So Century 21 sites, all listed as a subdomain of century21.ca. They're part of that site. There's no managed pay-per-click, and you can only customize what is available through the website template. Just because we're managing a national site, we can't have people insert code into the site, and there's things that can't happen when it's a platform for 10,000 people. So there's some parts of it similar to how we today. It's parts of it are locked down. You can't. And some of you guys have worked with outside SEO consultants and people, and they said, "Oh, we want to put all this code on the site. We need all this tracking." It's a national website, guys. It doesn't work very well. I can't take random third-party stuff and add it to our site. But on your own site, you can add whatever you want, and that's part of the benefit. So limitations of the autonomous sites, you won't get the Century 21 stuff that we're building until it's built. So you're gonna have to wait until it's built. But that's it. But everything else, sky's the limit. You can do what you need to do on the site. We're paying for the national platform, the national system, all the additional capabilities, all the partner integrations, all the marketing stuff, all of that. That's what the marketing fund is paying for. If you have your own site, you're under your own power, you're doing your own lead gen, that's paid for by you. So those are the differences. And we have negotiated some great pricing if you want to do that. Again, I'm not here to sell you this. I just want you to know it's available, and it's a unique relationship, nationally in Canada, both with Century 21 and Real Estate Webmasters, but also generally. Like most companies, when you get to a certain level, they just say, well, here's a vendor program, here's a list of 4 or 5 vendors, and you can go build a site with one of them. That's what most companies do. In this case, we vetted and picked and have working with the partner to make sure this all integrates together and creates a great experience for you. So I'll talk about another benefit of that in just a second. So here's how it will work. If you want to do an autonomous site, I'm not saying you should. And this is not a sales pitch. This is just so you know what's available. We've already started the Century 21 project. You could start your own project for your own site and get it up and running. And typically, if there's data, if they've got your MLS data, it can go very quickly. I mean, they can have you up and running in days, as long as you don't have a ton of things you want to customize, right? If you're sticking with the site template that they have for Century 21 and you're not going too crazy with customization, you can get up and running very quickly on their platform because they do this all day long. They have these kinds of sites all day long. When at a certain stage in the project, integration will start to flow, and we can integrate your site with the platform, especially the back end, the contacts, the leads, the print, the marketing capability, all that. that all starts to turn on. And then it'll go forward. Once it's integrated, it'll just be integrated. That's just the way it's going to work going forward. So pricing for autonomous sites. So these are broken into agent, team, and broker, and they also have seats attached to them. If you're a solo agent, you can get an autonomous site for yourself. The setup is normally six grand. These are, by the way, these are premium sites. These are really nice websites. This isn't a $5 site that you get, right? These are really nice. Some of the nicest sites. They're great SEO. They look great. It comes with all the CRM. It's got a lot of capability, and it's a unique look and feel that they've set up for us. So it's $1,000. It's normally $6,600. The monthly is normally $660. This is a $200 a month monthly. Again, I'm not saying if you're like, whoa, that's a lot of money. I'm not saying you have to spend it. Many of you don't need it. Wait for the new versions of all the stuff we're building you, and you'll be fine. But if you want to do lead generation, you want to be under your own power, you want to build a strong, strong home base for yourself that's branded, looks great, works great, and you can do whatever you want with it, this is what this is for. So that's for a single agent. If you're a team, you're going to have up to 25 team members on a site. It's $2,500 to set up, $350 a month to operate the platform. You can do lead generation for your team. You can manage how leads go to your team members, all the things you need to do to run a team. Come with that. That's already there, already exists. Real Estate Webmasters does this all day long. If you're a broker, up to 100 agents you can put on the platform if you need it. But I would only say put agents on this that are part of your lead gen plan. If you're going to feed them leads, then yeah, put them on this. But you don't have to have every agent in your brokerage on this. This is just if you want a site specific to your company and you want to do lead generation and you're going to distribute leads to your agents, then it's worth doing. Whether it's lead generation from SEO or lead generation from paid search, whatever, it provides you the platform for doing that today. And then when we turn on the Century 21 capabilities later, they'll get their Century 21 website and the Sphere CRM and all the other stuff. But for this, it's up to 100 seats for brokers, $5,000 setup, $499 a month. It's $10 a seat for additional agents on the platform if you go above 100. But most of you are not in that situation today. I've talked to many of you who are already planning on doing this, and I don't think many of you are going to be spending for additional seats. So that's the autonomous site pricing that's available now. This pricing is only available through this relationship with Century 21. You can't get it anywhere else. People can't go somewhere else and get it. They've got to be here. So if you leave the company, your pricing all changes. So just so you know, nobody's asked that. I don't think anybody's planning, but this is only through us. And that's a relationship that we formed with Real Estate Webmasters because we're spending so much money with them to build this national site. They were able to do this with us. There's a benefit to this too. That's pretty cool. So we've worked out, there's a Real Estate Webmasters partner benefit that if you go build an autonomous site with Real Estate Webmasters has agreed to rebate back money into the Century 21 marketing fund so that we can continue to build that platform even better so that we can provide more leads and more business generated to the system. And more tools and more capabilities that are custom to Century 21. So by having your own autonomous site and building it out, you're also will be supporting the growth and development of the platform long term. So it's a virtuous cycle where money's flowing both ways. They're going to be giving us money in form of credits to build out more on the platform. So when we make an improvement to the Century 21 property search, you'll have it available for your autonomous site. When we make improvements to how we do SEO or the marketing follow-up plans or any of that capabilities because of this partnership, you'll get it on your own site. So the more you spend, the stronger we're going to be able to be as a company in that. So that's how that works. That's it. That's available now. You can contact Mason, and we'll have an email address in just a second where you can email him if you want to be put in contact with Real Estate Webmasters. And I'm in a dialogue with them. We're learning how to work together in this, and I'm actively supporting. There's several brokers people I'm talking to who are building autonomous sites. We want to make sure you have a good experience, and if we need to do some things to support that, we will. But we're here to make sure that happens. Takeaways: new platforms being built include substantial upgrades, lots of them. New CRM, property search, lots of upgrades, website look and feel, third-party integrations that we haven't had, and some new ones that are coming. Launch is anticipated at Q4 2018. So that's when it's coming to you. We want to migrate you guys in the winter because that's the best time. People are not as busy then, obviously. and it's a great time to move you over. The autonomous sites are available now if you're in the situation where you think they're a good fit for your business. If they're not, no sweat. Just wait. Wait for the platform. We'll have it, and life will be better. Building a much better system for everybody. But if you need it now, it's available now. And no, we want you to know that you can go look at all third-party stuff. You can compare and contrast, but we think we picked the best partner in terms of lead generation capability, SEO, tools for the job, mobile, all those elements. They've checked all the boxes and done it really well. They're an industry leader in this space. We think we picked a great partner for this. And you can go build SEO, generate leads, do whatever you need to do on the autonomous platform if you want to today. So that's that. All right, so I'm going to roll right into some Q&A. I see we've got 8 questions on the call. I think, Mason, I think I'm going to switch this up, and I'm going to answer the questions that people asked because they're probably still here, and then we can go into the questions I had on the slides because I think that's better, and then that way we're kind of fully covering our bases because the people that emailed in, I don't know if they're here, and some of them are from last week. So I'm going to open up the Q&A.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Garrett says, will we be able to add remarketing and conversion tracking pixels? You will be able to do it on the autonomous sites today. You can do it now. We're exploring how to do that on the national platform so that people could do remarketing and conversion tracking within that context. And we did write it into the business requirements. So we're exploring how to do it. Things get a little weird when you have, a single domain like C21.ca that has like all these different pixels and all these different third-party things installed. So if we're going to do it, it's going to be very controlled. So you can definitely do it on autonomous if you have your own site. If you're going to spend a bunch of money, I would suggest you do an autonomous site anyway. It gives you the most control over that whole process, and you can do that now. And we're exploring how to do it in the context of a national site to see if it's possible. I want it. I want it. So it's in our list of things. It may not make the initial release for the national site, but you can get it now for autonomous. Garrett also asks, will my existing C21 site be migrated to the new? Yes, it will. There are some areas, the migration is a little tricky, and we're looking at how we can best support it. There's some fundamental information we're going to migrate. If you've built a ton of content and things like that, then reach out to us and let us know, and we're going to be providing some migration support for that. For those of you that have maybe built out a lot of content, we'll help you evaluate it. Frankly, there's some content that's been built into the system that shouldn't be migrated, and I'll go into why if you want, but we're looking at what people have customized, and actually that's part of our project. I have a team working on that right now to look at anybody that's done a lot of customization of our current site to help understand what we need to do to get you migrated. So there will be migration support provided. I'm not going to say we're going to migrate everything because in some cases we shouldn't. There's some things that shouldn't be migrated over for a variety of reasons. But yes, there will be migration support and migration assistance, and all the things that can be automatically migrated, like your contacts and things like that, we're going to migrate for you. So, Annette says, I get a lot of complaints about the large picture on the landing pages. We offer services so many types of properties of areas. And I think you're saying that people don't like that there's just one big static image. I hear that. We're going to provide the ability where you can have like that image move. That's something that you can show several different images if you want, or you can put a video like we showed. So there's some options to change out the media that's there. That's not just one static. Because I hear that if you're in an area, it's like, hey, we sell downtown, but we also sell some other different property types that maybe one image isn't what you want. So. But thank you for that suggestion. Mason, if you could put that on the list for discussion with the design team, that's I just want to make sure we cover that in that discussion. And then I'll be up there in August. We can go over that list with them and make sure that that's good. So Omar says, I'd love to have the case study. Okay, great. Let me get through the questions and I'll go, I will make sure the case study is emailed, a link to the case study is emailed out to everybody. So you've got it. It's a good case study. I'm looking around over here to see if we have a print copy I could show you. I'm in our boardroom right now, and we do not have any copies of it in here. But yeah, it's a good study. Happy to provide it. Yeah, so Annette, I would just tell them, thank you for the suggestion. The design team is looking at how we're going to facilitate people that work with lots of different property types and maybe need a homepage that reflects that. And it's on our list. That is in the scope of the work that we're doing for Century 21 in the new system, where we can say how to, our web template needs to support maybe multiple images or a rotating image in the background, things like that. So you're not just locked into one look. The templates we have right now are really simple. It just kind of locks you into one look. So Jason asks, can the MLS data integrations be reduced and money saved by adopting the Korea DDF? Unfortunately not, because the DDF, there's some real disadvantages with the DDF. It doesn't have all the MLS fields. So if you want to offer fields that are not in the DDF in the property search, they're just not in the DDF. So the DDF is limited. The DDF isn't as fast as the MLS. One of the biggest complaints we've heard, especially in markets that are competitive, is like, hey, the properties take too long to update. Well, the DDF is slow, guys. It is the slowest boat in the whole thing because it comes after that. So if we go direct to the MLS and get the data direct from the MLS, we can refresh your site faster and you can have a better property search experience for your buyers. They can get notified of new matching properties more quickly, and that's a good thing. So we're not going to run with the DDF. It's limited. It doesn't have all the fields. It's not as fast. It's not a good solution for that. And, I hear what you're saying. Could we avoid some of the MLS stuff? No, we got to go there. We have to integrate where MLS integration is available. In order to have the best search, we have to go get the data directly from the MLS. We can't wait for the DDF. It's too slow. Omar says, when can we begin with the autonomous site? Those are available now. We have a site template that's branded, that has a Century 21 look to it, and you can use it. There's a little bit of customization you're going to want to do to it in terms of content, the about yourself site. And a lot of it you can take and maybe rewrite some of what's on your site right now and use it. But if you want to do it, email into Mason and he will give you the he'll give you the details on that. John says, I found Where to Live phone support very good. Can you tell me how this is measured as part of the RFP? So yeah, support was a real question. So we haven't heard we've heard some people say, oh, the phone support's good. We've also heard like, hey, the phone support's not good. So we've had mixed, we've had mixed from that. We've also know there's a lot of support going on because things aren't working. And then that's been one of the things that's been a bit frustrating for us. So in the support contract, they're providing 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, 7-day-a-week support. The support they're going to be second level support for our offices and management teams and staff. So the offices will provide first level support for help that is needed. And we're going to see how that goes, frankly. And then the offices 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 days a week, can call in and get support directly. So anybody that's a staff at an office or one of our owners, any of that, can go directly to Real Estate Webmasters and get the support. I've watched Real Estate Webmasters do support. They have a Facebook group online and people go on there and ask for support and questions and things like that. They're really good at support. And actually, I think their support is less because their product is stable and works well and has a lot of users on it. So we think there's going to be a reduction in the need for support. What we're trying to do, and I'll be frank, is we want to get people off of this, training issues going to support, because that's a real pain in the neck when you've got people that just need to go through training. And so we're going to be providing some great training for this platform. There's going to be webinars, there's going to be videos, there's going to be some live training that we're exploring how to get out to people's offices and do some live training and provide live training materials so that your offices can train live, because we shouldn't be calling support for training. It's a very expensive to do one-on-one training over the phone. That's bad news. That's not a good use of anybody's time. It's a big waste of money. So we're moving to a support model that will be training. We're going to provide some really good training and we're expanding our support hours. That's one of the other complaints we get with Where to Live is the weekend support's non-existent. The evening support's not so good. We're going to do 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. So that gives, especially Easterners in Toronto, you've got expanded support hours all the way up to 9 p.m. now. So good, better support hours. We're going to gate it through local management first. And we're going to see how that goes. And I'm going to be frank, we're going to be watching that, because it's not I want to make sure the support is good and it's working. But part of our theory is if we have better training on the front end, an easier to use system that's built better, doesn't have bugs or problems, that we think the support will go down. And then we think it can be handled by the local offices. And in exchange, we can get better weekend support and better hour support. So that's what we're doing with support. I know that's a lot, but we want to make sure you guys have good support. And if we need to do some adjustments to that, we will. we're going to make it work. Nolan, hi, good to hear from you. So it says, we currently pay for individual property website URLs for listings. Will the real estate webmasters integration include free URLs for our listings, or will they still be required to purchase? Gosh, in real estate, everybody wants something for free. Nolan, why is that? Those URLs cost money. They're 12 bucks, 13 bucks, whatever. You're not going to get them for free. You got to pay for them. Come on. This is 2017. You got to pay for, if you're using property URLs, you got to pay for them. The history with the SRIP program, that was a bad deal, guys. It really saddled the marketing fund with all these expenses for buying these URLs. And those URLs get used for what? A week, a month, and then they're gone. And it's 15 bucks each. That's a huge number when multiplied by everybody out there that wants to do property marketing URLs. So guys, that's a cost of sale. Build it into your model. Charge your client 10 bucks or 15 bucks and get it done. We're not going to do free URLs. I'm sorry. That's just a no. It's just a no. It's not free, and it's a really bad use of marketing fund money. We should be using marketing fund money to generate leads for the entire system, for doing SEO, for doing content that is persistent, for getting inbound leaks from new, like that's the kind of stuff we got to do nationally, not this onesie twosie we're buying, wasting 15 bucks on a property URL that gets used one time, and it's most important to you, and it doesn't help the whole system. So we're not doing it. I don't mean to beat up on you, Nolan, but it's just, it's a peeve of mine. When I came into the system, I said, wow, that's an extraordinary amount of money that has a very limited life cycle from the system's perspective. It's just not a good use. So we're not giving away free property URLs. You guys got to pay for those. That's part of your marketing costs. Come on, when you do flyers, do whatever, you pay for those. So it's just part of it. Anyway, not meaning to harsh on anybody, but I feel pretty strongly about it, that's an individual choice, and you can build it into your cost. Annette says, we need things changed with neighborhoods and don't want it to migrate. I would like to start fresh. Well, good news, we're starting fresh. The neighborhood and community descriptions that are out there, we're going to redo them. And we're not going to do them the way we did them before, where we kind of threw it out to the field. That's some of the worst content on our sites. I'm just being straight with you guys. There's content copied off of Wikipedia. There's content copied off of other people's sites. That neighborhood content, it is bad news. That's some content that's actually hurting us in Google. So we're taking that back as part of this project, and we're going to be creating a content project as part of this, where we're going to be having some neighborhood content, city content, things like that written from a national perspective. That's going to be better, and it'll be unique. There's so much content on the site, guys, that's been copied there, shouldn't be there. It's not good for us. It hurts us in SEO. It's not original content, you know. So we've got that as part of the project, is to do work. Now, are we going to write content for every single neighborhood in Canada? Not right away. I mean, that's very ambitious, but we need to redo the neighborhood content. We need to do the whole way the neighborhood thing works. It's got some issues. It's a big area where people complain a lot no matter what is there. And so I think we've got to take we're taking a whole new direction on the neighborhood community content. You can still do whatever you want at the local level. If you want to write content and do stuff like that, that's great for your own site, that's fine. But the content that's provided to the system, we gotta start fresh. Very strongly. When we talked to the SEO people over at Real Estate Webmasters, they said, guys, this content's a real problem. So much of it is causing issues with SEO, and it's copied, it's plagiarized, it's not good. So we're going to address that. Omar says, will we be able to integrate the Centris or Montreal Real Estate Board of Montreal into an autonomous website? I don't know the specifics of all 80 MLSs in Canada. But if we're integrated now on the C21 Canada platform now with an MLS, we will be integrated in the future with the new C21 platform, and it'll be available via autonomous sites. But maybe there's some weird board restriction I'm unaware of where they won't let you run an agent website with the MLS on it. I don't know. There are some places like that in the US that I'm aware of, but I don't know. So if it's on the national site now, it'll be on the national site in the future. If you can get it on an individual solo site in your market today, if that's possible, if other agents are doing it in your market today, then yes. But if people can't get MLS data on their individual agent site today in your market, then probably not. And it has probably nothing to do with, it has to do with your board. It has nothing to do with Real Estate Webmasters. So send us a follow-up, Omar. I don't know. I don't know that MLS that well because I don't know all 80 of them. So Sierra asks, will our blogs, local imagery, et cetera, migrate across? So we're evaluating, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. It's Kieran, I don't know if it's wrong. Other Nolan, I can handle. Omar, I can handle. But I'd love to know how to pronounce your name. The local imagery, blogs, etc. So we have a team right now at Century 21 Canada that's looking, and we started this 2 weeks ago, looking at everybody that's done a lot of customization. And then we're going to evaluate what sort of help and support is needed, because most people have done very little customization, or the customization they've done doesn't even matter. It's like they change one or two things and that's it. Those we're not going to do anything with. We're just going to say, here's your new site, and if you want to change the background, you can. That's fine. But if you've done a lot of customization, we're going to actually spend some time and look at what you've done and figure out, do we need to spend some customer service hours helping you get migrated? Some of you guys have content that's really, I'm just being frank, really questionable in terms of value. And so for some of you, we may look at it and say, you can migrate it, but it's not helping you. And we're going to recommend you don't migrate it. So we're going to look at it. So you're now on our list. Mason, if you could note that question and that individual whom I do not know, find out how to pronounce their name, and note that they may be one of the people we need to put on the list that Mandy's keeping track of people that might need some migration assistance. So Wendy asks, is there any email signatures available now for our different email addresses, or will we have to wait for that? I don't think that has any. You're probably talking. All right. So Wendy, you're probably talking about the Rackspace email system, like you're using webmail to do Rackspace email. What I would tell you is that's Rackspace. So we're paying for a mail service through Rackspace, which that may change, but that's not what this call is about. At some point in the future, we may change our email provider. What I would do if you want a bunch of different email signatures, I would do one of two things. I would forward the mail over to Google to get a Gmail account. In Gmail, you can go in there and say, set up where I can send from my Century 21 address, and set that as your default send from. You can do that in Gmail today. I do it right now. I have like 5 email addresses I can send from in my Gmail account. And then you can have whatever signature you want. You can use whatever signature makes sense to you. So that's that. There are also some email signature products that plug into Google that you can use. I know Outlook has some similar things. So if you want to use a desktop email type of client that has multi-signature, like Outlook has signature support, so you can pick signatures. Lots of ways to do signature. That's not a good feature Rackspace is a very simple webmail provider. They have a simple webmail interface. I don't anticipate them making changes for us because that's a very simple service we're using with them. But if you want different email signatures, get a Gmail account, forward your mail over there, set it up so you can send from Century 21. Mason, make a note if people ask about that. We need to send them some instructions on how to set up a Gmail account where they can send from their @Century 21 address, and how that works, because it's very straightforward. I think it already exists in the resource center. Great questions. You're just popping in. I love it. This is the best part. I'm gonna drink a little bit of coffee right now. Okay, Jack.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I was just wondering if you got to that one, because I think you passed it a couple of times. So just go ahead.
Oh, the paid Gmail account? Yeah, so
yes,
Jack says we have a paid Gmail account with our own domain suffix. Yes, those will be supported by the integration. That's why we're doing the integration, is because of people like you that have already moved over to Google and said, I want my own environment. Yeah, that's absolutely. Mason, can you make a note of Jackie? Because I want to know everybody in the system that's already on Google at some point, because that may be helpful when we talk to Google to tell them we already have this many users that are already paying. That's useful for us to know right now. So just make a note of Jackie and her office. Wendy says, oh, that was the email signatures one. We hit that one. John says, I see in the USA more high-end sites are doing floor plans for individual listings. Is there a partner that's been identified so that we can incorporate this potentially key differentiator? Yeah, so I'm aware of a few floor plan companies. I would love for you guys to find out if there's a floor plan company in Canada and bring it to us, because that's great. We've worked with a number of firms that use Matterport to do the 3D tours, which we will support. We are going to support Matterport it's great for high-end listings. You have to have a very expensive camera to go do it. But for those of you doing like find home in the States, high-end stuff, super great. And we will support Matterport or floor plan type technology. But I'd say I'm not aware. I'm aware of some options in the U.S., but I'm not aware of if there are companies that do floor plans in Canada, or if that's a broadly available service. Mason, could you put that on our wish list for vendor partners, please? And let's look at that wish list and see if we can find it. So I'd love to support it. I think it's a great idea, and I already know we intend to support Matterport, which is the leader in virtual reality, 3D tour type stuff. If you haven't seen Matterport, go to matterport.com. Super cool. Will we be able to add custom buttons? Currently, I have added buttons, which are actually images. Yeah, I mean, the content management editor that comes with the template, the CMS system, you can add in images and make them buttons and do. I mean, it works like it'll work better actually than what we have today. But yeah, you can add in images that you click on that go places, whether that's a button or a picture or whatever. Yeah, that's all doable within the content management system that they provide. And of course, if you have the autonomous site, you can do whatever you want. So, but on the platform, yeah, you'll be able to do that. Oh, so Wendy, you said, can I get a professional looking one in the marketing center? Okay, so you just want a better looking signature, not how to use it. Well, sorry if that was remedial, was not intended that way. A better looking email signature. Mason, can you put that on the marketing request list and make sure Chiyoko gets that we need a better email signature. That's a good request. That's an easy request. Annette says on Google, and all new agents are set up that way. So you're on Google also. So Annette, note that Annette Wiebe is, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your last name, Annette, is on Google as well. John says, most of my listings have additional documents such as vendor declaration, survey plans. Yeah, you can add documents, you can upload stuff, and people click on it and download it. Absolutely. I consider that's like normal listing functionality, that you can link to things that you want people to download. So if you want to upload a file, Mason, put a list on our questions for real estate webmasters. Let's just double check how the document uploads work. I'd like to see that just to make sure it's easy to do. That's something that, because if John wants to do it or other people want to do it, we want to make sure that that's no problem. Christy says, follow up. But the buttons do not look good on mobile. It made them work for mobile, and then they stretch too big. Yeah, send me Christy, send me a link to that. That's usually you need, if you're doing like a custom button on a site, you usually have to put some additional markup to indicate what to render on mobile. So that may be something you could fix now. And even on our current platform, where you just need to put a little snippet of HTML there.
I think our current platform, the custom button picture icon is set to a very low specific resolution, like 75 pixels or 150 pixels by 150 pixels, and then it's set that way. So if it's ever expanded, I know on mobile they like to make the buttons bigger because you just touch them instead of click with the mouse.
Right.
The resolution isn't supporting it that way. So I just think that's a limitation of our current system with the custom button set up the way it is. I think with real estate webmasters, they have a different system.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem. Real estate webmasters is much more savvy around the mobile stuff because they've just built a lot more sites and have done a lot more on mobile. So I don't anticipate. Can you put that on our questions for real estate webmasters list? Amazing.
Will do, yeah.
Just let's follow up with that. And then this button issue on the current platform, why don't you make a note that just make sure that's in our list of requests for one of the development sprints to see if that's something they can handle. So I think bottom line, you'll get better buttons for mobile out of the move. And if we can get it done on the current platform, we will.
Yeah, I think the current button was created well before mobile was an issue, and it just hasn't evolved past that.
The site was only moved to mobile responsive
2-3 years ago or something. Yeah,
it was like a little over 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it was one of the things that was done right after I started working with the company. So it was a little over 2 years ago, and it's still. I mean, Real Estate Webmasters has had mobile sites for longer, and I think it's better at mobile. So. Great. So Jason says, if agents sign up today, what is the startup and monthly cost, and will those sites be allowed to convert to brokerage sites when fully integrated without cancellation fees for the term contracts? No, it's a different thing, Jason. So if you sign up for an autonomous site, it's not the same as what you're going to get through C21 Canada. It's its own site. Now, I think what you're saying is, if I really want a site today, can I buy an autonomous site And then when the Century 21 platform rolls out, can I then cancel and convert? And it's not going to work that way because it's an autonomous site. It's a separate site. Now, if you don't do a lot of customization, yeah, you can just turn it off and then use the Century 21 site as we've built it for in the Century 21 system. So yeah, you could. I don't know about terms, about cancellation, but I just want to be clear, like an autonomous site is not the same thing we're going to be providing at century21.ca. So if you build an autonomous site and you then just want to have a different site for a while and then kill it when our national platform launches, that's fine. But I'd say don't do a lot of customization then. Just keep it pretty basic, customize the property search and some basic about you information, all that. Just don't do a lot of customization because you may not be able to redo that customization on the national platform. And then we can talk to real estate webmasters about the terms. I don't think there's a problem with that. I really don't. The setup for an agent site was what? It was like, so it's $999 and $200 a month. And so, yeah, if you just said, hey, I just need a better site for the next year, you could spend the $999, do $200 a month for the rest of that. Now, I think if you do that and you start sending some dollars and do some lead gen and some SEO stuff, you probably are going to want to keep it, in my opinion. I think you'll want to keep it and you'll operate both. You'll have your national site that'll, be for any traffic comes through national, and then you'll have your autonomous site. I think you'll end up wanting it to keep it, is my guess. But I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't say, oh, well, everybody should just buy an autonomous site and then when the new platform comes out. I wouldn't advise that. Unless you really think you need something different today, then yeah, go ahead and do it. Why don't you make a note about Jason and let's get in a chat over email and see if we can help him out with some better advisement there. So, all right. What else have we got? Can you please display the screen which compares what? Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to publish, this will be published so you can print it out. So that's the difference. If you're going to look at that. Yeah, and that's why I put this slide together. I want to be real clear. Your own website is different than the national, what's provided for you for the national. The national site is very similar to what you have today. It's a limited website. It's not a full standalone website where you can do whatever you want. You can insert you can put code in it if you want. You can work with a marketing firm and they can go nuts and design crazy things for you. Like, you can't do that on our current platform. You're working around the platform. But if you want to do those things and you're willing to spend the money to do them, then the autonomous site is the thing to get. And that's yours. That's your site. We've just set up best pricing, a very strong relationship, and an integration. So all your data will flow back and forth. And you can use all the integrations that we're going to build for you, like with Google. So that's what you get. Let me see if there's any other questions. And yeah, so there's the splash screen there. I think that's it. I'm not seeing any new questions roll in. I think we're good.
I think the last one, Omar was just asking, will all the listings at Century 21 appear on the autonomous site? That would be the objective, yes.
No, they won't.
No. Oh, no, just theirs.
No, not just theirs. Just their whatever MLSs they're members of, and whatever IDX agreements that you have to show, that will show on your site. But you can't search MLSs that you're not, like on an autonomous site. That's just for you in your area. It's not the national property search on an autonomous site. That's not happening because it's a site for you, for your market. It's actually would be bad. You wouldn't want a national property search on your site. It's weird because A, you'd be violating a bunch of MLS rules. And B, it kind of reduces the localization of your site for SEO. You really want to be focused on, like, I'm focused on my market. So it'll be your MLSs, your IDX search for your MLS that you're in, or multiple MLSs if you're more than one. Of course, your listings and all your Century 21 listings will show there. So yeah, so that's what the autonomous site will do. But we're not putting a national property search on an autonomous site. That doesn't make sense because you don't serve all those other areas. Doesn't make sense. So I'm not seeing any new questions roll in.
Agree. Yeah, I don't see anything in the chat either.
Omar just asked, can we have both? Yeah, you can have both. You can have your autonomous site, and then when we roll out the the national platform, you'll get a site there as well. So absolutely, you can elect to say, I don't want to display my C21 system site. I want to point it over to my autonomous site. You can do that too. But yeah, you could have two sites, an autonomous and the site provided by national, or you could just say, I just want, when people find me through the national site, for it to send them, go to my autonomous website. Either way, and we'll be able to pull both. That's totally good.
You can link back to each as well.
Oh, let me get people's. So I'm gonna flip. We had a bunch of screens here with questions that were asked from our earlier. I will go through those real quick just for thoroughness, and since it's going in the recording. But if you want to email Mazen, he's Mazen, M-A-Z-E-N at century21.ca. That's that. And let me roll through some of the common questions that people have had, just for thoroughness and also for the recording. And so if you're done, if you got all your questions answered, that's fine. I'm going to answer some of the questions that came in via email for people who may or may not be on the call. So new system launch, Q4 2018. I answered that. What sort of training? So we are developing in parallel with the with the effort. We are developing training. There'll be webinar, pre-recorded video, resource material, and we're looking at how we can deliver live local training. We may have some. I'd love to have some options there. We're exploring how we can do that. If we can do some trainings in different cities, kind of like we do the city tours, and say we're going to come out, spend a day, do a training on a new platform, get you guys moved over. That's what my preference. We're looking at the logistics of if it's possible, how to make it happen, and then we want to have your offices have some local training materials so they can deliver as part of new agent onboarding or once a monthly training, that kind of thing. Live classroom style training, like I said, we're evaluating how to do that, how we can put that together. I think it'd be great. I'm a big fan of live. I think you learn so much when you get into a room with other people that want to learn the same thing. The system will support French and Chinese as it does today. So French will be on the front and the back end, and you can put in alternative content in French and Chinese that will display on the front end. So yeah. Support. So we are supporting, I kind of already answered this question, but we have 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific support 7 days a week. Frontline support will go through the offices is how it's intended to work, so that we have expanded support hours, but through office staff and management. We're going to monitor this. I mean, I think we have the support stuff is a little out of whack right now because we're on a platform that requires more support than it should, and that we don't have the kind of training. I think we do a good job on training and a good job at the local level and having materials and resources available. I think we can have support be supplied locally, but we're going to monitor that, like I said earlier. Team capability. So the current platform supports teams, including a team website, lead management, and a team concept. So we're going to get all that. Can I do SEO? Absolutely. You can pay for SEO. It's available for autonomous sites, and that's a benefit of using autonomous sites. You will be able to use SEO techniques on the national website. You can do that. But paid SEO support where you pay a third party and they want to slap a bunch of code on our site and do all that kind of stuff. We're not going to support that with the national platform. If you want to do that kind of stuff, you really need an autonomous website. You need to get serious and get it done. But at the national level, we're going to be in charge of SEO for the entire website, which should improve substantially. If you read the Daniel Kale case study, you'll see they just moving to Real Estate Webmasters improved their SEO tremendously. Just moving to that platform made it better because the platform's better designed for SEO. So we will be supporting SEO on a national basis, but if you want to get serious with SEO, you need an autonomous website for it. I think it's the best fit. It's the right tool for the job. Will the CRM be better than what we have today? We've gotten that over email. We are redesigning the CRM, as I said earlier, around the daily use CRM for repeat, referral, and sphere and network. Kind of the core 70% of the industry comes from people or your business comes from people. We're designing around that philosophy for the core CRM, so it's easier to use for that. And then we're going to have lead management capabilities that we don't have today. This one we've gotten from some owners who've said, is this exclusive? Real Estate Webmasters is not exclusive to us, and it's just not possible. They already have clients in Canada. They have clients. They have clients everywhere. What is exclusive is the nature of our relationship, the degree of customization. We're building a custom system that is really for Century 21 people only, and that includes the integrations, all the customization we're doing, the templates, the marketing, all the things that we're putting into the platform It's going to be our own. People will not be able to just go buy it. They can, of course, sign up for Real Estate Webmasters, and they can go spend a bunch of money to customize it the way they want it. But what we've done will be ours, and we're going to continue to invest in the platform to build unique and different competitive advantages into the system that are only for C21 members. And there's a lot of that we're already building in initially, and then we have more coming as we continue to upgrade and work with the system. And we're with a partner that can handle it. We can call them and say, hey guys, we want to spend 6 figures and build something really cool that no one else has. Real Estate Webmaster says, great, when do we start? So that's awesome. Will admin information, contacts, CASL status, properties, et cetera, be transferred to the new online office system automatically? We will be moving the contacts to the degree that they can be moved. So we're going to move as much as possible. There are some fields in the existing system that are just they're not being used, or they're being so lightly used that we're going to deprecate them. We're going to take them out. We're looking at that. We're going to look at the data when we pull it all out. And we already know there's some parts of that current CRM that it's a ghost town in some of those fields. So I'm not going to say we're going to migrate everything, because we shouldn't be migrating things that nobody's really using. We are definitely going to be migrating opt-out CASL. That's all part of the plan, is to migrate that kind of data. This one, so somebody asked if they'd be able to link social media accounts to update with new listings, new posts. So we really see that as a third-party vendor functionality. We don't feel like that's a core functionality. So we are exploring some relationships for that right now. There's a couple of companies we're talking to about how to automate social media promotion of listings, and there's some great vendors out there, but we see that as being kind of a marketing tool. These kind of vendors are going to come and go, and it'll be the latest new hot thing, and we see that as an integration. We'll form a partnership that'll be optional. Not everybody has listings that they want to do that with. Some people don't want to do it, and so we see that as an optional add-on that we'll integrate our system with when we find the right vendor. And we are talking to vendors right now about that capability and who can do it best and work with us and our new platform. We have gotten questions about the online office platform, if we can do full synchronization, calendar, email, contacts with all mobile devices. The current Rackspace Email Plus enables us to do that, but we upgraded everybody so that you could have access to that capability for mobile synchronization. But frankly, Rackspace is kind of weak tea in that market. I mean, they do an okay job, but we think Google is the best. And so through the Google integration, you'll get access to Google's synchronization, which is much better. And so we will sync what is in your online office over into Google via that, and then you can sync it down to your devices through Google synchronization, which is best in class. Google and Microsoft are really the best at that. And synchronization it's a difficult technical problem. That's why companies that have tried to tackle it, it's been messy. And we've had problems with Rackspace's synchronization as well. That's a third-party synchronization tool. That's actually not coming from Where to Live. That's coming through Rackspace, and it's been a little challenging. We're not intending to synchronize email into the platform, because that's a hot mess. I've seen it done, and it's not pretty. So we're not planning on synchronizing all your email in your email account into the CRM. Go to your email account, read it there. It's much better. And when I have seen that done, it tends to not work well and break often. So we're not going to try to be everything. We're going to be good at things that help you make money, and then we'll rely on best-in-class tools like Gmail to handle your email. So,
yeah, I mean, you can use your own standalone email apps with IMAP or POP3 support that works the same way as your computer does.
I mean, listen, guys, I'm a licensed agent. I was in brokerage. I sold real estate for a living. I get it. Like, everybody wants everything everywhere, but I didn't see the value as an agent. And I've talked to a lot of people, and there is a certain set that they want everything synchronized everywhere. But it's just, technically it's a mess. And given that you can easily work around it, just go in your email and search for that person's name if you need a specific email from them. So I get that request, but we don't have a plan to do it. It's just not, there's a very small minority that wants everything synchronized everywhere. We're going to focus on contacts, calendar, that's well established. Like that, we've got good, Google's really good at that. Microsoft's good at that. Rackspace, we're going to focus on the areas where we think we can get the most leverage. So autonomous sites, these are some questions. This is just for, I know I've talked a lot about autonomous. We had questions about autonomous. This is just for clarity. Why would I want an autonomous site? If you want control and flexibility, the ability to spend money towards lead generation or SEO to generate traffic and leads. That's why. If you really want to kind of own that and you have a need for that control and flexibility, that's what the autonomous is for. You're not going to be able to do it at the same level on the national site. You're just not. It doesn't work well. That's why you talk to anybody that does this at a high level, they've got an autonomous website, whether it was with Real Estate Webmasters or some other company like a Boomtown. That's what people that do this seriously, that's what they do. So we're going to support that. That's what the Real Estate Webmasters autonomous sites are for. If I build an autonomous site, how does it help the marketing fund? So a portion of your setup and monthly fee will go back to the fund, and then that will allow us to continue to enhance the entire platform, including national SEO, new tools, things that will plug into your and work with your autonomous site, because it's all going to integrate. If you have an autonomous site, so what support options are available? If you have an autonomous site, you can go directly to Real Estate Webmasters for support. So you don't go through C21 for that, because you have a direct relationship with them. So you'll actually have an account manager, you'll have a person you can talk to, you can call into their support line at their hours, all that. So you go to them directly for support. And we think you should have that, because you have a standalone website that's hosted by them, a CRM that's hosted by them. So that's that's what you get if you are autonomous. And then the last question was, if I want an autonomous site, when can I have that? So you can sign up now. It's available now. The site's launch independently, so you get to decide if you want to do a lot of customization. It takes whatever time it takes. If you do minimal customization, you can probably launch pretty quickly. There's a little dependence on whether or not they have data for your MLS or your board. So that's market dependent, and whether or not they've gotten to that MLS or board yet. So I can't say, if you sign up today, you'll have it in 2 weeks. Can't say that, because A, don't know how much customization you want to do. B, don't know if they have your MLS data. But if they have your MLS data and you don't do a lot of customization, you can get these things turned on rather quickly. Have seen it happen. So that's it. That's all of the questions that were sent in.
I have a few others, Jack, that came in. In the autonomous attendee in the question said, RE, the CRM prior to the current was really good, and we were so disappointed in the current one. They're probably talking between the classic online office and the Rev 2 one. And then they said, so that they switched to Top Producer. We also use the Buffini system, which is too simplistic to be functional. Can you talk about the new CRM related to either of those systems?
Well, I can. I mean, I'm obviously very familiar with both of those from all the consulting work we've done with other companies. I mean, we looked at Buffini, we looked at Top Producer. We agree with you. They have some advantages, but they just simply aren't. They're not built for organizations like ours. And frankly, I mean, Top Producer charges more than most of you are paying into the marketing fund for their CRM, like double. So you're paying retail for that, and they just don't price it for our level. I mean, I'm very familiar with Top Producer. In my own capacity as a consultant, I've worked with that organization and did some consulting with them years ago to help them reorient their product. And Buffini I'm very familiar with. The product that we're building for the C21 system is based around, so we have a whole discourse, and if you listen to me if you came to my talk at a conference last October, I gave the talk about the 4 ways that agents make money. And so the CRM philosophically will be built very strongly around 2 of the 4 ways. And the 2 ways are agents make money by networking and working with their sphere, and agents make money by marketing. And we're building the CRM with the concept that C21 Canada can support you with really great marketing and make it so where you don't have to come up with the marketing. Like, that's the concept. We're going to provide the marketing layer for you via the marketing center. And then we're going to make it really easy to stay in touch with your sphere via the way the CRM works. And Top Producer has some of this. Top Producer has the, like, here's who you should call today, and some of those kind of concepts. Works well on mobile. We have our own thinking around that based on looking at a lot of CRM platforms. And so we're going to build something that makes it easy for those of you that do 70 or 80% of your business coming from people that you know to stay in touch with them, put them on marketing campaigns that work, see who's raising their hand, who's getting active, who's opening and clicking on things on marketing materials you're sending to them, make it much more obvious. Right now you have to kind of dig around in the system to get it. So those are some of the concepts we're working with, and also to get a concept of, like, who you've contacted and who you've not contacted, things like that. Like, who are you doing a good job staying in touch with versus not? So those are some, I mean, that's kind of, I'm giving the philosophical concepts. We haven't designed it yet. We're going to be spending the next 18 months designing and building it. But a lot of thinking is going to go into that, because I agree with you. The prior system, which I looked at, was pretty compelling. And then when it was moved to the new platform that Where to Live produced, it was really, it was kind of a loss. I mean, the other system. Now, if you go look at that other system today, I actually think you'd have a different assessment of it. It seems antiquated now, but it had a good dashboard. You could kind of tell what you were supposed to do. That we want back. We want that concept of what are you supposed to do? What's the overlook of the business, and who do I need to be in touch with today? So that concept we want back, because we think it was a good concept. And then we want to infuse it with this staying in touch with the people in your network, so that, so that when they're ready to act, you kind of can tell by what they're doing. So that's that. Yeah, that's what we want to do there.
I've got another question that came in from Facebook from Paul Endrigo. I'm as impatient about tech as they get. Since the REW platform is already existing, any chance we can get started on our own now with the existing platform? I think we've kind of already answered this question. I'm not sure if they're referring to the back end as well, but I think the autonomous websites.
Yeah, you probably, if you are wanting more autonomy control and you want to make things happen now, and you're kind of a little bit more tech focused, want to do some lead generation, the autonomous sites is the right answer. You can start with that. Like I said, you can start with that right away. You can sign up, depending on if they have integrated your MLS or not, determines probably how quickly they'd be able to launch, and how much customization you want to do. But yeah, that's available now. That would be my short answer. I see Bill wrote in, Jack, you mentioned the community sites are hurting us on Google. Would you suggest that we do not show our community sites on the web for now? It's really, that was a blanket statement, like to overall assess. I don't think it's going to make a big difference if you turn it off now. It's not like Google's going to go, oh, wow, they turned off one part of the community site thing. Like, oh, we should send them lots of traffic. That's not going to happen. What has to happen is we have to write unique content. That's the number one thing that we're doing wrong. Is some of you have gone out there and I've had to deal with it. I get some calls that come in and agents complain to us and say, so-and-so ripped off my content. Do not copy content from other people's websites or any websites onto our websites. That is bad, bad, bad. Google hates it. It gets us into trouble with other people. I've already had to talk to people where we've done that with. It's not helping. So if you go in there, the way to do it is go to the content, grab a sentence out of it, put quotes around it, put it in Google, and see if anybody else has that exact same sentence on their website. And if they do, go look, and it's probably been copied. If you find copied stuff, yeah, get rid of that. Get it off of there. But I can't tell you just turn off the community stuff. And it isn't, I mean, this is something where, I mean, it's a national website. It's got a lot of content in it. So we really have to go through all of it to make it right. But yeah, if you find stuff that's been plagiarized, get it off our site. That will help if everybody would do that. I'm not counting on everybody doing that, but if everybody did it, go audit their sites and say, you know what, I think I copied that from Wikipedia, or like I really like that. There was some agent in the States, I copied it from them. Get rid of that. It's hurting us. It's hurting us in Google. And in the go forward, I mean, that's one of the reasons I liked Real Estate Webmaster so much, is that they did some of that analysis and came back and said, oh gosh, this part's a real mess, and we got to clean that up. And we, when I saw it, I did my own analysis. I agreed. I said, yeah, that's a problem, but it's like we can't just turn it off. It leaves big holes in the site if we just turn it off. But yeah, if you find plagiarized, copied stuff, get rid of it, because it's not helping, and it's likely hurting us.
I think the other thing too is that if you've created unique and great content for the communities that you're posting, then that is probably valuable and you should keep it.
That's good. Yeah, if it's unique, good stuff that you wrote or you paid somebody right. Oh, be careful too. You hire some of these contractors. Oh, this drives me crazy. I get these calls from some of you where it's like, oh, I've got a proposal from so-and-so and they're going to do, 500 pages of content for like $1,000. Well, guess what they're doing? Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. I'd like my $1,000. That's what they're doing. So you got to be careful, these folks that are doing that kind of stuff and offering you something, you're like, oh, it's a great deal. Like, be careful. And I've had people send me in their proposals. I'm like, this is preposterous. There's a lot of bad actors out there, which is why we've vetted and have found a great company. And this is what they do, and they do it all day long. And I'm not saying all of those guys are bad, but if you're talking these little mom and pop SEO shops, a lot of those guys do not know what they're doing, and they're just happy to take the money and run. So please be careful out there. It's a zoo. It's a zoo. All right.
Yeah, I think that covers it.
I think that does. Well, really, I love the enthusiasm and all the questions. We are going to a new place, guys. We're going to someplace we've not been. We're going to retake our leadership position with technology in the industry in Canada. That was the whole purpose of this move. We tried to make it work with the current platform, but it's time to get a new one. And we think we've picked the absolute best partners for doing this with. So we're very enthusiastic. We know there's going to be bumps. We know there's going to be things that we're going to have to learn. That's business. That's life. We'd love your support and help doing that. We're very open to feedback, as you've seen on this call. I think Mason's probably got a pretty good list working from all the questions and follow-up that we need to do. We'll have additional sessions like this as we get closer to rollout. We'll have some feedback from you guys. It'll help us form the platform and make it great. But that's what we're doing. And it's a real privilege to serve the system and to help you guys build even better businesses with a stronger platform that will let you go where you need to go with no limits. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate you sticking through this, and hopefully the information was valuable. Again, we will have this stuff recorded and posted for rewatching, as well as the translation will be available shortly after that. Take a look at your news feed to see the postings for those.
Great.
All right, take care.
Guys, I'll see some of you at conference in October, and then go out and sell some real estate. That's what this is all about. Everybody have a great rest of your summer. We'll talk soon.